What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 141 of Behind the Toolbelt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer.
Behind the Tool Belt is sponsored by Lead Scout. Find out more at leadscoutapp.com.
TC Backer.
Boom, TC Backer family. I hope you guys are enjoying your week, man. I know we are down here in South Central Pennsylvania. We're finally starting to get a little bit of cooler weather here, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Almost time for that hoodie weather in the morning, and then you take it off midday.
Yes.
That's my favorite time of year, man.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Ty?
Good. I'm doing great, man. I was actually going to say, I think this is my favorite time of year, but actually I like coming into spring with the hoodie thing.
Yeah. Knowing what's coming up.
Yeah. But knowing that winter is coming up, I'm not ready yet. Like September's already here. We're like the first week into September and my September's already booked. And it's like, I have appointments and schedules and all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah. Poor Ty, right?
Yeah. Poor
we
Ty.
were just talking about
Once
that.
again, poor Ty gets to travel around the country and do stupid, crazy shit.
Yeah, man. It's good shit.
Yeah, it is good. It's good, though. But, life is good. Business is good. The weather's great. Now, it has rained for the past 2 days, but we've needed it.
For sure.
And the way that it rained is the way we needed it.
Yes, for sure.
For sure.
So we got a wonderful guest here with us today, guys. All you TC Backer supporters here, please welcome Jordana Gordic. And she is coming to us. Where are you from, Jordana? Where are you coming out of?
I'm in Arizona, Phoenix,
Arizona.
117 degrees. Yeah.
117.
Yeah.
That's not a humid 117 though, right?
No,
it's not that sticky, nasty heat that we get up here.
Yes.
That's good stuff, man.
It is good stuff.
So she's representing a company that she just started up, 3XR. Jordana, do you want to kind of tell us about yourself and how you got into the roofing industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to shut this door. Sorry. So basically, I actually started off I was a professional dance teacher. So I did like ballet, contemporary, and all that. And I got introduced. I actually was working with Anthony Delmedico at SVG for a while. So I got introduced through a friend, started working there, and I fell in love with this industry. I just love how I could always be myself in it, and just I was able to really help owners. I actually worked with you, Ty. I got to work with you, which is awesome. But I love that. And from there, I kind of, went my separate way, and I just developed. I kind of, from speaking to a ton of roofing contractors in this industry. I mean, I spoke with hundreds and hundreds from all over the nation. It was a blessing because I got to hear everybody's story and their side, like the ups and downs that they go through. So I kind of, throughout the years, I kind of came up with a solution as to, what is this problem that they're facing with like the sales, growing your sales department and all that. So I started my company. It's called 3XR, and I'm really excited about it. I got my first client, so I'm working with them, but basically it's recruit, retain, and redefine. So I'm super stoked about it though. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, and it seems like you've had great mentorship too over the years. I know over the past 2 or 3 years that I've known you, I met you with the Storm Venture Group. And I think the first time I actually met you was like 4 or 5 years ago in Louisiana. I'm pretty sure at the When the Storm conference.
Yeah.
Was when I first met you, and we've stayed kind of sort of in touch over the years, I guess. And I know you've really helped us, especially when you were with SVG. That was interesting, and we actually got a lot out of it. We don't use it anymore, but we did end up getting a lot out of it. I know Lauren did. So I know what you do and what you have done has been very successful for us, and I'm super excited for you for your new adventure right now, right? Like, and you work for Matt for a brief moment, so you probably had a little more in-depth training, because I know Matt is a smart dude. God,
he's so smart, super smart.
Right. So I'm super excited to see what you have, what your future holds for you.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm really excited. I think like, because the biggest thing that I see with this industry though is like, people say that they want to scale and all that, but it's just they talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want it, but they won't do the work towards it. And then even with recruiting, it's like, it seems like even when people like hire recruiters, or even when they try to recruit, I don't think the issue technically is necessarily that they can't find people. It's the problem that they can't retain people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is a tough thing for people. And to have a company like yours to teach people how to refine, retain, and recruit, I mean, that's definitely like, we have a new salesperson right now, a sales manager who's recruiting like his own team. And I know how important that is for us, and to be able to train them the way that they need to be trained, to not just actually sit around and wait for leads and become lead babies, but to be able to self-gen themselves, and how important that is. So touch on that a little bit on self-gen.
I'm a very strong believer in door knocking. So even though everybody hates it, I just think that's the best way to do it. You just have to get over that fear. I don't think lead gen is a bad thing necessarily. I just don't rely on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you get a good lead, like the way that I've always trained people is like, if you get a lead and you're like, that's an opportunity, a huge window of opportunity, because you're going to go to that homeowner's house, speak with them. If you close the deal, or if you don't close the deal, at the end of the day, they're going to be fine with you using their name, because if they had damage, that whole damn neighborhood had damage. You know what I mean?
Right.
So take that. And that's kind of what I teach. It's like, take that opportunity and dominate that whole neighborhood. So.
Exactly. That is a huge opportunity. We call it scouting. So we kind of scout the neighborhoods after that. And of course, we've put, I shouldn't say exactly, because Chet's getting ready. Chet is our sales manager, and he's got a meeting on Monday, and I was getting ready to spill the beans. I don't want to take that from him, because he's doing such a great job, but damn it now. So yes, we scout the neighborhoods, and the guys do a great job. Plus we support them in that. So we have a system. So we do like a canvassing of like notes to neighbors. We do direct mail. We put yard signs out. We kind of warm the neighborhood up for them. You know what I mean? So you're not necessarily cold knocking, you're warm knocking. So we try to warm it up for them, and create what we call lead scout babies and not lead babies. That way they want to canvass the neighborhoods that we've warmed up for them.
That's awesome. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you can have that one. I won't charge you.
Thanks.
Okay.
So Jordana, I know that I don't know too much about what you just started, I want to say. But I know that you come from, a successful background and stuff. What made you want to go out and venture on your own and take that risk of, not having guaranteed income and not having all the things that we take for granted, being W-2 employees and all that kind of stuff? What made you take that plunge?
Okay, so it's a mindset. So basically, again, I got to speak with hundreds and hundreds of roofing owners all over the nation. Like literally, y'all see the same. Everybody has the same problems. Okay, same highs, same lows. When I figured out, because I'm a problem solver and I love to listen to what people have going on. So when I really figured out what the problem was in this, and honestly, with scaling, it's like they can't retain. And especially when they do hire people, they don't have a process. Nobody has, not nobody, but a lot of people don't have a process or a system in place at all. And the thing is that I was like, how do I make something that's so simple? Because all of us, we want the easy way out too, right?
Right,
Like it's very hard to get a roofer on the phone for more than 30 minutes. I'll just say that, right? So at the end of the day, I was like, how do I combine something and make something that's very easy, like simple, stupid, to the point, and put it out there so that they can utilize this and actually like legitimately scale.
Right.
So at that point, when I kind of figured that out, like I had this like something in my gut, like I was meant for more. So I needed to venture into that. So it was a journey. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of ups and downs, but now I just launched this and it's like all set in stone. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to take off with it. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, we're excited for you too. When I had mentioned it to the guys, they were like, "Oh, that's cool," and that's kind of why, I told them that you were scared to come on the show for about 12 months. I'm just kidding. I was just kidding.
I was like, okay.
This girl's TikTok, like for real. Like she's got a great following on TikTok, and she's definitely not afraid to be in front of the camera. That's why I was busting her balls. But she was trying to get her shit together with her new business so she could come on here and we could plug her business.
Right. Makes sense.
And and that was a great question, Chris, that you started out with, like what possessed you to want to go out on your own? And me knowing what I know of you, you definitely have that entrepreneur spirit and want to grab the bull by the horns and make your mark on the earth and have a legacy, someday at some point in time for making an impression and helping other contractors. And like you were talking about, it's like a lot of people who get in business, right? They don't know what they're doing. Not that they don't know what they're doing, but like for me, I was a mechanic, right? I grew up doing, shingles and siding and stuff like that. So I knew all I needed to know about the production end of things, right? But I didn't know anything, the back office stuff. I didn't know much about that. So to have somebody like you to come in and help refine, right? And define refine for us. Like, what does that mean exactly?
Okay, so this is my structure. Okay, so say I'm just gonna give you an example. Okay, you hire guys on board. Cool. Those guys, those sales reps or whoever it is, they die out eventually. Okay, so they get tired or whatever it is, or just lazy or comfortable, whatever it is. Okay, so rather than people I would never have somebody just like, hey, everybody's fired. So my main thing, the first thing is recruit. So recruit, retain, redefine. So first, if you want to structure your company, I help them with the structure. I already have a 50-page slideshow type thing already done up for people that I plug and play their logo in there. But basically you recruit, right? You want to bring in new fresh blood. So that's what I do. Cool. So I help recruit. And then once from there, I have this 5-day boot camp where it literally trains them in to be beasts within 5 days. Cool. After that, it's retaining. So retaining is the biggest thing. So a lot of the time with companies is that they'll bring people on board. Here's your percentage. Okay, go out with my, top sales rep, whatever. That's not it, because half the sales reps that go out, and this is something that I'll give Matt credit for this. When I went to his class in Florida, I learned that there's so many things that go into even an inspection and meeting with the adjuster, more than I even thought. But it's all these sales reps, they're either having to go re-inspect it because they didn't do it right the first time, right? There's a lot of hassle to it. So having that structure where you're teaching them how to do things the right way in the get-go and a simple process is what I do. So retaining them is that structure, and then having weekly goals. Cool. After that, the redefining. So now that I get to that part, it's okay, let's redefine and restructure everything. Let's look at your whole team. Let's get rid of the waste and let's keep the strong players. You feel me?
Yeah.
So people that are holding people down. So that's what redefine means. It's who's worth it in your company, because you're the owner, Ty. It took you a long time to get to where you're at. Okay. You don't have time to waste, nor do you, Chris. You're a manager. You don't have time to waste on people that are just going to do shit half-assed. You know what I'm saying? So redefining that structure, once you have, though, that core good group, then it's hey, I ask of this from you. If you can't deliver that, then, we're redefining this, we got to get
it makes sense. Do you think that bringing in the new blood has anything to do with, we talk about it sometimes when we bring people in. It's I'm just going to use an example. When we switched over to Job Progress, it was another system after I'd say probably a 2 or 3 year period where we're just doing system after system after system, trying to figure out what sticks, what works,
For sure.
finding the bugs and things. Cause I mean, we have a different model than a lot of other companies. We do a lot of new construction, we do retail, and we do investment work. So
commercial.
like it's like no program out there really fit us. So we need to find the program that's willing to mold to our thing. You know what I mean? So, we had an opportunity when Job Progress, when we first started launching that, it's like we bring in fresh blood. They don't have any bad habits. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you're bringing in those new salespeople, it's like, it's almost a breath of fresh air because
100%.
you don't want to sit babies with your top guy because maybe the top guy has bad habits that he just doesn't want to listen.
100%.
Right.
And is that why you do that?
1,000,000%. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
100%. I believe that if you're working for somebody, like, you should always respect the owner, always respect your manager, no matter what, right? You'll have that opportunity to move up. But yeah, hiring people that are, and I'm not saying this for everybody, because there are people that are out there that are great, that know the industry. But a lot of the time, yeah, they have bad habits. That's very hard to change. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I love,
it is.
Fresh newbies are good.
Yeah. What we've found, though, as long as you have a solid process, right, that you can train, opposed to not having a process, right? So if you don't have a process, because we went through that too, like we went through 3 different CRMs, one that we kind of like developed our own over the years, right? Which none of which communicated with any of it. We had 3 people putting the same data in the same different places that didn't work. Right. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Right. And then we had some other people help us develop like an estimating software, but it wasn't quite a CRM. And then we went through One Click Contractor, which actually developed the GAF project for us. And then we realized that wasn't the approach because they wouldn't mold to our system. It was just roofing. And like Chris was talking about, we do roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar for residential, retail, for residential new construction, for commercial new construction, commercial remodeling, like all facets of the roofing and siding and window world is where we're at. We've learned a long time ago that, to stay diversified, for whatever reason why we decided to go that way, it's actually paid off dividends. But finally, we about 3 years ago, like Chris was saying, we finally settled into, and where we've seen our biggest issues was those who have stuck it out with us had the hardest time conforming to now this is the new process after we just ran them through the freaking ringer of bouncing through 3 or 4 different processes, right? But now that we have a solid routine that everybody on the team is using, it's a little easier for those people who may have came from a company that uses AccuLinks or Job Nimbus or whatever, right? And then let's face it, most of the sales training is the same. You got the roofing strategist, Adam Bensman. You got, basically most of the people, and I'm not saying anything bad about any of them, but a lot of it's the same thing, like canvassing neighborhoods, knocking doors, overcoming.
Not rocket science. Let's just say it, put it that way. Okay?
Exactly. So they're all doing that, but as long as you have like that back end process, I think in place, I think a lot of times as managers and coaches and mentors, I think sometimes we allow fear to get in place of like, oh my God, he's got experience or he doesn't have an experience. But as long as you have a solid process put in place, I think the learning curve for either the experienced or non-experienced is going to go over a hell of a lot smoother than it would be if you have a half-assed process. So I think for new business owners, find a CRM first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
You have to have that.
Right. So let's touch on retaining, right? Because retaining, recruiting the same team that you have. What do you have for suggestions on retaining the people that you have and those new ones that might be coming on board?
Okay, so it's all about, like 85% statistically, like 85% of people say like it's culture. Culture's huge, right? A lot of roofing companies do not hold weekly or like 2 times a week meetings type thing. Okay. I believe that weekly meetings are absolutely like hands down, no going around there. Everybody's got to show up. Everybody's got to like come in and we all come together. That's huge. That first of all creates culture. And second of all, it creates this energy that builds people up. Okay. Being at 1099, and I learned this, okay, after SPG, I actually went into the solar thing. I tried different avenues, you guys. And it was awesome. I mean, I got to learn so much, just didn't find my niche. So but it's not easy being a 1099. Let's just face it. You have to have an entrepreneurial mindset. You do. And not everybody has that. It's just, that's why it's so hard to hire for this industry.
Yeah.
So with the retaining, what I came to find was, and it works, this statistically worked. I had 100% effective rate on 7 companies that I did a small test, like practices on. So weekly meetings are a must. And basically the whole team comes together, and then weekly quotas, basically. Now, this isn't just go out there, sign 5 contingency agreements, bring it back, because they can sign some bullshit stuff, right? This is like, I actually made like a whole checklist type thing, like a very simple one that they like, and the certain pictures that they need to have to make sure it's a valuable claim. It has to be a good claim, right? So it's like, all right, 5 or 2 deals a week, right? Whatever your quota is. I would have my clients buy a little spin wheel, like a little cash. Like, have you guys seen those little spin wheels that you can? Yeah. And basically tape cash on there, $100 bills, like a bunch of 20 stacked up, whatever you want to do. And basically at that weekly meeting on Monday or whatever day you choose, it's like, all right, who hit their quota and who actually, like, say it was 5, they had to turn in 5. All right, Sammy over here had 5, good claims come in. Awesome. Let's all give Sammy a round of applause. So everybody gives him a round of applause. Sammy feels so good, right? He gets to walk up and spin that wheel. He wins, $100, $500, whatever it is. Okay. He gets to go back to sit down. Now it's Jimmy's turn. You're like, okay, Jimmy, what the hell happened? You got no deal signed this week. Like, what the fuck? You right? So that right there, that pride and that defeat is actually more motivating than the money itself.
Right. The
Jimmy,
team accountability.
Huh?
The team accountability. Having your team
100%.
sit there accountable as well. Yeah.
It's healthy competition. You're creating an atmosphere of healthy competition, but that's also a fine line that you got to walk there too, because you don't necessarily want a culture where it's like, people are going off the deep end with each other and resentments get built and things like that. But I totally appreciate the healthy competition, because you want that kind of atmosphere, because you want the salespeople to push each other, and like Chris was talking about, like hold each other accountable a little bit, and then have that almost like public humiliation of like, Jimmy, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you're crushing it, and it's that accountability. But if you have a great sales manager who's holding their team and setting goals and holding them accountable to those goals on a weekly or bi-weekly or a monthly or quarterly, you know what I mean? I think a lot of that helps too. So then Jimmy's not put on the spotlight either of like, Jimmy, you're screwing up. So, and a lot of that just comes with experienced sales managers, production managers all in general of how to treat people, because this is the other thing too. Jimmy might not handle that very well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's a different way you approach it. I kind of jumped.
No. I get it too, because I've gone off and publicly humiliated, and not that I said that you're publicly humiliating somebody, but you got to be careful too, because nowadays people are so goddamn sensitive too.
Well, guess what? I don't give it.
Relentless. I get it, man. Michael Jordan, if you can't get off my level, get off the fucking court. Like, I get it.
You can't be in this industry. You cannot sell for my company if you're sensitive like that. Like, that's just the bottom line. You feel me? So they probably weren't a good fit anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
there you
that's
go.
the way I view it.
Good freaking point. Good point. But Eric Brewer's on here, which is one of our longtime friends and mentors here. He said, what about the cost of turnover?
What about the cost of turnover? What do you mean by that?
Yeah,
like 70% of poor.
He asked that back when you were saying about how, bringing in new people, then the redefine, we're going to figure out who sticks and, who's got to go. And I think that's what he meant by, what about the cost of turnover? Like I think what he's trying to say is, you spend all this money training all these people, and then
why are you spending money training these people? I think are you talking about makes more so time?
Yeah, well, time. You spend all the time and resources, because obviously there's overhead in a company just to come in and turn your lights on and everything.
I understand. I see what he's saying. So with my process, though, my whole company 3XR. Try not to give away all the nuggies, but I'm just kidding.
That's the whole point of bringing you on here, so we didn't have to pay for you.
Right. I'm just kidding. I'll tell it. It's just okay. It's all about your process and structure. So Ty, for example, was talking about earlier CRM structure. That's your back end. That's your spinal cord. that holds your whole body together. Okay. But you have different body parts. You have your head, you have your arms, you have your salespeople are your head basically, right? It runs the show, basically grows the company. Okay. If you don't have a structure that works for your company, for the sales side of things, you're going to have a lot of, turnover. Like you're going to spend a lot of money. Okay. So with my process, there's no like answer to this. It's just my process that I've came up with over the years that's worked. I have a 5-day boot camp. Okay. Typically they start on Tuesday or whatever. They're in the office. Within that first week of that boot camp though, I pay for the training. I have people come in and give them a 30-day pay, by the way. Because you guys can't hire. You cannot. It's almost like impossible to hire. Hey, just come on 1099. You're gonna make a lot of money. No, I guarantee like $2,000 or $3,000 that first 30 days that they're on board with us, just because they have to pay their bills. You feel me? So that's about the most money you're gonna be out of. But you won't be out of $2,000 just because within that first week, like you'll know whether they're gonna make it or not. Right. So like the first few days of my boot camp, they're in the office for the first 2 to 3 days, literally going through. Here's a gable. Here's it's the minimal shit, right? But they have to learn that. You have to teach them the ABCs and the fundamentals, you guys. I was new to the industry, and I remember if you would have taken me in the car with you immediately, I would have bounced out so quick. Because I don't know what an adjuster is. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, right? That is why people are losing sales reps, though, guys. So don't ever just take them out in the field with you your first day. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not exciting. It's not going to motivate somebody, okay? A lot of people. So the first day I have them in the office, I have them do a vision state exercise. How much money do you want to make? It's like this whole thing, and it gets them excited about like, shit, dude, I'm about to make like 100,000 or 200,000 this year. And it breaks down how to. And then from there, we're going to teach them the fundamentals. By the end of that week, though, that's when they take this like little quiz, and then Saturday they're out in the field. But by that time, you guys are smart enough to know whether they're going to make it or not. So right there, you're out of, let's see, maybe a maximum of 10 hours of your time. Yeah. And what's 500 reps. That's it.
Yeah. 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 It's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
So if you guys are hiring them though, and like buying them business cards and t-shirts and all this bullshit, when you know that they're not going to stick, I have like a 90-day probation period that I put people through. But I give them the proper aspects and tools to be successful with this. But I also give them 90 days to prove themselves. And after that, we talk about, higher percentage or whatever it is. So
that's a good point that you said there too. You give them the tools. Another thing that he touched on, and Jen actually kind of mentioned this too.
I don't know if I answered his question. I'm sorry.
People leave people, not companies. And 70% of poor employee production is due to lack of clear expectations and insufficient training. And that kind of goes back to what we were saying about processes and why it's important to have a process. Because if you have a solid process, number one, it's gonna lay down what we talk about sometimes. Yes. It's either a process problem. Is it a training problem, or maybe you just got a shithead that just doesn't want to follow, just doesn't want to follow the process? Is it a personnel problem?
Yeah. And there's a lot more moving parts too, as well, other than just sales. Like at least for us, with all the different facets that we're involved with, there's all kinds of admin. There's all kinds of people and stuff like that. So I think when it comes to like a business as a whole, you know what I mean? Unless you're a paper contractor that just has salespeople that uses subcontractors, if you're not actually a construction company, I think that's where it becomes cumbersome to not coach your team up and have sales processes or any type of process documented so it's easily duplicated. What we've tried to do within our company is create what we call business in a box. So we can go anywhere over a weekend and set up shop and have everything easily duplicated, right? It's not 100% yet, but it's that's
awesome. That's what you need. That's what you need is a process that you can just continue to duplicate so that you guys can scale.
Exactly. And then it's so much, we do talk a lot about culture, and there's a lot of things like that little spin wheel game, to create that healthy competition atmosphere. And then there's things that you can do within the community that we do. We do functions all over, York County. The weekly meetings are huge, right?
Yes.
And it has to be weekly is what I found out. I did tests, by the way, throughout the 4 years, I did different tests. I did monthly, I tried bi-weekly. It's the weekly.
Yes, for sure. And sometimes a couple times a week, you got to have little breakout meetings and stuff like that. You got to communicate.
Where people are at, yeah.
Right. You got to let the team communicate, voice their opinions, let them bring the solutions, right? Not always the problem. They may have spoke about, hey, there was a little hiccup, but this is what we did. Like, give them that authority, train them on how to think and not what to think. And that's one of the biggest things that we believe in, because I don't want people constantly knocking on my door. Right? Because they don't know how to think. They need me to think for them. No, that's not what we did. And I've done that probably for the first half of my career, because I didn't know how to manage people. I thought I had to tell everybody what to do at all times. And when we were smaller, yes, it was like that. But if you want to scale and you want to grow, a part of your training and your coaching and your mentoring is teaching them how to think and not what to think, and let them make decisions on their own and fail. Unfortunately, have them fail so they can learn from that mistake.
Yeah.
And that's what the weekly meetings are for. It's like, the Jimmy guy. It's not like I yell at him in the meeting from the get-go, but it's like, hey, Jimmy, you didn't hit your goal this week. Tell us what's going on. What happened? Right? Yes. And they talk about it. Worked for this person. What didn't work, But I had a question for Chris, actually.
What's up?
What is because you're managing other people now, what is your biggest struggle that you find being a manager?
Trying to be people's fucking friend. Honestly, it trying to play that balance between setting clear expectations and holding people accountable, and still being the nice guy that my guys want to like and respect. And one thing that I've learned is my guys, if they're good and they're here for the right reasons and they respect me as a person as I respect them, the less I will have to be that guy.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And that took me a long time to learn that, because this company was the very first time that I ever managed other people. And it took me a while, and I still have my moments where I'm like, man, I gotta give this guy some shit, and I really don't want to, but you have to. And Eric brought up a really good point here. The processes manages the rule. Managers should only manage the exceptions to the rule. So if you have a good process in place, man, the process should manage the people. I mean, if they're following the process, what is there to manage? I should be handling the abnormal issues that come up. So-and-so threw a cigarette butt in the yard, or like,
No, I agree. Yep.
You know what I mean? I shouldn't be managing, hey, did you use your time efficiently? Did you fill out your order properly? Did you clock in and out properly the way that you're supposed to? Did you take your materials to the job site the way you're supposed to? These are the processes that the guys, if I train them properly on the process, it should all fall in place.
Exactly.
Right.
And if they don't, and that should be given to them, obviously, from the get-go when they start, kind of what my process is, and then from there. Managers should only be honestly overseeing and just be there for them. The first time you're hiring people on board, though, of course, like, the manager needs to be present, of course, right? But other than that, but back to what you're saying with that, like, if anybody else has complications on like having that friendship / professionalism trouble with your sales reps, a lot of the time too, like, a good solution that I've found is that, like, if you get, because you're like the sales manager, you're the field manager, right? Getting somebody inside, like behind the scenes, basically like a sales manager that's not out on the field, where you kind of partner together. That person can be in charge of doing all the all the stuff that you don't need to do, in a sense. So, but I've always seen that helps too. So
yeah. Now it's a great question too.
Yeah, it was.
Chris, I've watched Chris over the years hone his leadership craft, I guess. And of course, he's watched me grow up too over the past 5 years now already. And we've fed off of each other and have watched each other make mistakes and have been there, and we complement each other well. I think in that aspect of the roles that we play in the leadership and how serious we take our leadership to be the best leader and mentor and coach, because really at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're their biggest cheerleaders, right?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We need to embrace the decisions that they make and or want to make in times. And I've practiced that a lot on Chris. Chris has kind of been like my my punching bag over the years of me trying to hone my craft as a leader too. And he's seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, and not that he's been my punching bag and it's not been that ugly, but
no.
But you know, it's and Vic, you know, has been here. I think he just celebrated his 2-year anniversary. And somebody said, I think it was Jen Silver, it said that people don't quit. And Chris, you've said this a lot over the years, is that people don't quit jobs, they quit people.
Yeah, so right. So true.
Very seldomly when we do have somebody quit, we've had that discussion. What could we have done differently? What happened?
Yeah.
Do you guys ask them by any chance, or like?
Yes.
I tell you, dude, we don't have much, we don't have a very high turnover. You know, there's been a couple over the years that have left, and I want to say the majority of them have done it to themselves. Like that, you know, it's been issues that come up that it's like, look, like we can't have this representing the company. You know what I mean? Because you have to, number one, you have to make your core values very, very present and known. You need to hire upon your core values and you need to fire upon your core values, and there's no gray area. If you don't leave a gray area, people can't float in that gray area, you know, and you have to be strict. And I'll tell you what, my least favorite thing to do in professional world is fire people. I know. I hate it. I hate it.
Call me up. I'll do it for you. I'm just kidding.
Well, and
I hate it too, though. It's not fun.
Right. And how serious we take it. You know, there was a certain person that just didn't fit our culture. Now they were okay at their job. Right. But they didn't fit the culture, the mentality, the culture, the tenacity. Right. So we let them go. We let them go. And that was our explanation to them, is that we just don't think you're a good fit here. We will give you a great reference and referral if you need one from us. And we gave them a 2-week notice. We gave them a 2-week notice, right? Because I don't think any of us want to drop anybody on their head and say, get out. Now, there may be instances if they were stealing or whatever that are more severe where they got to go and they got to go now. But we take the culture so serious that we know over the years we've learned that all it takes is one bad apple.
It is. It is. That's so true. And it affects
right. And that there also sent the ripple effect through the office as well. Like, holy shit, they're not fucking playing around. Yeah. And we're not playing around. You know, there are times I might be a dick, but have never, I don't think, Chris, and check me if I'm wrong on this, I can't think of an instance where we haven't been fair.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, you know, obviously I can't be in Ty's shoes because I haven't put everything into this that he's put into this. So I don't have near as much to lose as he does. You know what I mean? As all business owners do. They built their thing from the ground up. It's blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. They're, at the end of the day, I mean, they're the ones that are going to lose everything if shit goes south. But, you know, obviously we're human beings, number one. So we are going to make emotional knee-jerk reactions sometimes. And then, you know, 10 minutes later, be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and Ty, you know, one thing that I have seen in the 5 years I've been here is how well you've been able to pinpoint how you can make a situation as bad as you want or as good as you want. And I hear you say that quite often, that it's like, sometimes I just need to be quiet for a second and process things, because I'm the same way. You know, it takes me a very long time to get to that point, but when I'm at that point, I'm at that point. A man can only take so much. And I'm going to come out the side of my neck on some shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, making those things few and far between. And I can honestly say that even if it comes out wrong, the end result was fair. You know, it usually fit. Maybe there were some extra words added in there that maybe could have chilled, but you know, the reasoning for doing the decisions that you make. And I mean, when it comes down to it, man, to be a good leader, you have to make sure that your message is clear. And a lot of times, man, Ty, you say it all the time. When you point the finger at that person, you got 3 pointing back.
Yes.
You know, is there something that I could have done differently? And, you know, sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. Sometimes, you know, you can lead a horse to the water all you want, but, you know, but at the same time, number one, we're human beings. You know, you never know what people are going through in their life. Sometimes people have bad days, bad weeks, bad months.
Yes.
You know, you never know. You know what I mean? So
what's going on in your personal life?
Absolutely, too. Man. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about recruiting.
Yay.
So what's your secret silver bullet for recruiting people?
I literally I just actually posted an ad out like yesterday, and I got like 26 people. Another person, I got 50 people within one day. My secret sauce is like literally, it's all about how you word things. So for example, like roofing sales reps, or it's just like nobody's going to want to do that. I want to find people, first of all, okay, like car salesmen are awesome, right? People that work in restaurants are awesome. At the end of the day, you guys, it doesn't take a rocket science to be in this industry and make a shit ton of money, right? They just have to understand, because when I was introduced to this industry, I was like, what the hell am I getting into? I'm like, roofing? No, right? That was my first thoughts. And I'm like, that's probably every other person's thought too that doesn't know about the industry. So I bring myself back as to what would attract me to an ad. Okay, well, first of all, like 100,000 plus opportunity, or, like roofing sale, or not. I just put like sales representative, and I do like paid training, and then I do weekly bonuses, cash bonuses. So like I word it certain ways where it attracts people and it gets their attention. I'm not hiding anything. Like I just don't put 1099 in there, but I word it in a sense where it's like, okay, this could work for me. I'm going to get paid out weekly depending on bonuses. You know what I mean? Like I can make up to this amount of money. So it's all about that, finding the right attraction. Another thing that I've done is I've actually called like community colleges nearby. So like wherever's in your area, I'll call like a community college near there. They always have job fairs going on. If you don't have time to do that, just ask them where you can post, because they have a ton of job boards where they have all their students. Those kids are like the hungriest and the best. Plus they can make their own schedule. You know what I mean? So I'll ask what their boards are, and they'll allow you to post on there too. So I found some people off there too, but other than that, that's kind of my secret weapon. And then from that, it's literally like people kind of want to hire so quickly. Like when I talk to somebody for example, I was on the phone with somebody yesterday. Like literally this guy answered and he's like, hello. And I was like I hung up immediately. You know what I mean? Like it's about like, you need to impress me. Like, hey, how are you? Like that's the type of person I'm looking for. So it's all about attitude, persona. Even when I look at their resumes, I'm looking how quickly they're jumping from job to job. That's a big thing. So finding that right person and then calling them, having a good combo, and then doing group interviews. Group interviews is key.
There's a local business owner around here that my girl actually works for.
Really?
His name's David Gatto. He owns Future Solutions Fence and Deck, right? So he posted last week on his Facebook about how he potentially looks for people, and as a business owner, I've obviously never owned a business, but I can agree how if I were to own a business, I can agree with his method that you should always be on the lookout for talent.
Always.
It could be anyone. You know what I mean? It could be the person that's serving you dinner at the restaurant. Are they bubbly? Do they make eye contact when they talk to you? Do they have a good attitude? Do they handle the problem person behind you that's giving them shit? How do they handle that? The person that's overworked at the drugstore, like it can be anywhere. You can find top talent anywhere. And it's just, what are you going to do to entice them to want to make that change? Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, because a lot of I want to say in most cases, if you have a person that's just a rock star, it's going to be hard to get them out of what they're doing, because they're probably compensated well. They're probably treated well in most cases. In most cases, sometimes not. Sometimes people are just so happy and so loyal that they're not willing to go out and seek something better, because they just know that at some point in time it'll get better. You know what I mean? But just to always be on the outlook for that top tier talent. And Jordana, like you said, how do they answer the phone? Because if someone sounds like they just got out of bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you called them, it's probably not your guy.
Yeah, exactly. For real. And that's a good point too. Always looking for top talent. And that's something that I always say when someone reaches out to me through Messenger or whatever, like, are you guys hiring? I always say we're always looking for top talent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're constantly, even if we're not looking for somebody, we don't even know what shoes they might be able to fill, or a job that we didn't even realize, a place where we needed somebody to be, right? Because I don't know how many times we've created other areas for people to work that we didn't even realize that we needed that to be more efficient, to be able to scale, right? So that's always been an interesting, mystery right there to me. But I like that. That's a great point. I've heard a lot of people actually say that, like waitresses, like when you're at a restaurant, see how they're dealing with the
People hire a lot from that.
Right. Bartenders, especially through the pandemic, we were, that was our biggest thing, was to push, we were already working on the CRM that we were working on, but one of the biggest things is that we wanted the CRM 100% because we knew a lot of people were going to be laying off, like when it came to bartenders, restaurant, waitresses, waiters, and people like that. Because honestly, at the end of the day, wherever you come from doesn't really matter what you know, because our process probably isn't the same of where you came from anyhow. Right. So as long as you're willing to learn and have the right attitude and tenacity, that tenacity to want to learn, you're going to fit in. You're going to fit in the culture because we're going to train you everything. And anyhow,
Eric brings up a really good potential nugget here for you guys. Go find a bad leader. His people guaranteed one out. A company that has horrible
right.
I mean, that's facts, man. That's facts.
Yeah, I saw him post that the other day, I think.
That's a good point, Eric. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Jordana, Eric he's a local real estate, and I don't even want to say local anymore. I mean, Christ, Eric, you're all over the place now. But he lives here local in our town, and we do a lot of investment work for him. He's a home flipper, and he does turnkey rentals and stuff for investments, and he's in a couple nationwide and probably even at this point worldwide mastermind groups and stuff. So he's up in there. And I tell you what, man, of our local, what we call our small business local economy here, he's been a big influence in a lot of the local businesses and just having that good culture and treating people good. So kudos to you, Eric, man. I appreciate you watching us today, buddy.
Right on. Yeah, thank you very much, and Jen and everybody else out there. So let's get off topic here a little bit. I want to give Eric O and Paul Reed a big shout out to next week. They have the 13th, 14th, and 15th Storm into the New Era in Denver. I know they still have some tickets available. So Vic, if you could put their website, stormintothenewer.com, in the comments there. And then Jen Silver's One Industry, One Model. They'll be in Charlotte the 13th and 14th. And then TJ McCormick's got the roofing ahead of the curve.
Yeah, roofing ahead of the curve.
Will be Friday the 16th. Down in New Smyrna, Florida. So a lot of cool things. We'll be attending, unfortunately, not the One Industry, One Model, but we'll be out in Denver. We'll be
at the New Smyrna.
Coming live Wednesday from Denver. And then Friday, we'll be actually doing a 12-hour live streaming from New Smyrna at the National Claims Institute, where, yes. So we'll be there for 12 hours.
That's awesome.
Friday. So I just wanted to give a couple quick shout outs. I know there was a couple people in here. And then, of course, Eric, who's been one of our biggest partners in all of this. We've been doing work now with Eric for almost 14, 15 years now. So he's been a great supporter of the TC Backer family. And of course, has been a great coach and mentor over the years, whether he knows it or not from a distance. And if there was anybody else in here that we've missed, I just wanted to make sure that we gave a big shout out to some of those people that are working hard. Oh, and RoofCon in November. We'll be in RoofCon. Also behind the Toolbelt will be in RoofCon. I don't remember our booth number, but we'll have a big end cap there. Anyhow, it sounds like we're having a few technical difficulties here.
My camera froze, so Vic's just re-plugging her in here. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for the stuff coming up. Shout out to Javier Molina. I seen him in here earlier. He's going to be flying in from Belize. He actually works for the local news company down in Belize, so he's going to be coming up to help us with this adventure that we're going to be doing next Friday, the 12-hour straight consistent stream of a conference, which will be pretty awesome.
It will be
emceed by Patrick Carr. So I'm really excited about that, man. He's always good to chat with and stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It should be interesting, man.
Should be.
It's going to be the first of its kind, and I'm really excited what TJ's doing and bringing the content to the industry for free. That's, people in the industry, we say it all the time, man, doing the things, for the industry, without any kind of bullshit on the side.
Yeah.
If you can't make it down there, you can check out the stream, and, that's going to be free on replay for forever.
Yeah.
Doing the right things for the industry for the right reasons, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. So
all
shout out to Erico, Jen, TJ, Hunter, all the people that are leading the industry, and what I want to say, leading the industry for the right reasons and stuff, and not trying to sell anything or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm not dogging anyone that wants to sell anything either, because obviously you got to make a living.
Of course.
We
all have to, but like you mentioned, all these people that are actually trying to change the industry of this new school roofers that we have to try to get rid of that stigma that so many roofing contractors have had in the past prior to us, is really super freaking cool to be, amongst, the Jen Silvers and the Ericos and the Paul Reeds and the Hunter Blues out in the industry, and them asking us to come and participate a little bit in their, their conferences, which is really cool for us to be invited to RoofCon. And of course, we're going to be guests, I guess, out in Denver at the Storm into the New Era, and Friday, the roofing
ahead of the curve.
Roofing ahead of the curve. We're actually going to be we're going to be the media.
Yeah,
we're going to be the media crew of that. We're not necessarily going to be behind the we'll be behind the camera, not in front of the camera on this one. So that's going to be something new for us. So that's kind of not nerve-wracking, very exciting. And we're ready for the challenge. So that's what we got going on.
Last thing I just want to throw in really quickly. If you guys want to put my phone number up here really quickly. I just want to share just to everybody who watched this and was on this, show with us, and obviously to anybody else that wants it. I want to share the recruiting ad that I specifically had and I made that did a lot of different candidates too. So I want to share that with you guys. If they want to text recruit to my phone number, I don't know if you guys can put it on the screen, but my phone number is 480. Write that down. 601 4064. And if they text recruit to me, then I'll email them over a copy of my some recruiting ad that I made.
Got it.
Cool. I posted it in the comments here for everyone. Cool. Jordana, if anyone wants to, obviously that's how they can get in touch with you for recruiting. But what's your social media tags and that stuff? If anyone wants to get in touch with you about potentially hiring you or anything like that.
Just send me a message I'm on Facebook all the time. So send me a message on Facebook right now. At the moment, my website's about to launch, and my Facebook page will be launching here soon. So I'm just kind of building all that out. But just for now, just message me on here. They have my phone number, but if they want to get in touch with me, if they don't have it, then they can just message me on Facebook.
Yes.
Perfect. So what do you have coming up? Are you going to any kind of events or anything like that? What do you have coming up? I'm going to be flying out to DFW soon. At the end of September, I'm actually doing like an in-person boot camp for somebody. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, that's always fun. And
then I'll be going to RoofCon too. So I'll hopefully see you there.
Yeah. So we'll get you back behind or in front of the camera again. And you can tell us how far you've made it in 2 months, because I can see things moving real quick for you. I know, like I said earlier, you've had some good mentorship and coaching, and have come from some solid background. So we support you in your new adventure. I'm sure at some point in time we'll be reaching out to you to ask for advice, hopefully free advice. I'm just kidding. I'll just bring you back on the show.
Just bring me back on here.
Right. But
I'm always willing to help. I always have given free advice. So if people just want to talk to, like I'm that person.
Right on. You got to. That's just kind of
for sure.
Customer service, I guess, or friendship, however you want.
A reputation too, and you want to help it. We're here to help. So.
Exactly. So we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So much. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
It's been a fun one. It's been a fun show. But yeah, TC Backer family, make sure you guys hop over to her Facebook page, give her a like, give her a follow. If you guys have not done this already, hop over to our YouTube page, Behind the Toolbelt. Make sure you subscribe to that. We need more subscribers. I mean, we're trying to go live on YouTube.
Yes.
All that shit.
Hook us up.
Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to that. I want to give a special shout out to all the constant supporters, man, that are in here every week, every single week. You got the Fishers and David KX and my girl Britt. We got Jana. We got all the TC Backer employees in here. We appreciate you guys, man, for keeping us company through these things. And like I said, make sure you guys go show Jordana some love. Jordana, it's been a pleasure having you on here. And next Wednesday, Ty will be coming live from
Denver.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. And I'll be live in studio here.
Our friend Joe with Lead Scout will be with us, and I'm going to try to rope Eric O in as well. If not, no big deal. But he did commit to me to coming on live. But either case, Joe and I will be live. We'll be pulling Chris in. If Vic wants to come in, we can pull him in as well. And that should be very cool, very interesting. And we appreciate the love, the support. Jordana, thank you so much.
It was nice seeing you guys too.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Everyone will catch you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Central Time, right? Is that what, or that's Mountain Time?
That's Mountain Time. Yeah, it'll be 9 p.m. out there when we're going live. It'll be 7 p.m. here.
Gotcha. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 142. And hopefully everyone enjoys the rest of their week, and we'll see you next week.